Over the past few weeks, there's been an increasing amount of talk, or more chatter, you could say, about a housing market crash. But is the housing market setting itself up for a crash, or are we just starting to see things shift? Hi, this is Andrew with the S2 real estate team in Frisco, Texas. And you may be wondering, well, what exactly is the difference? A shift versus a crash, or what does that mean? So in today's video, I want to break that down for you. I'm going to talk about what the difference between the two is, what the latest signs that we're seeing now are, and what I think we are going to see over the next few months. And again, if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know that I certainly don't pretend to have a crystal ball and really do think that everyone needs to make the best decision for them based on their situation. But I have been doing this a long time, and then I've been through up and down markets before, and can read some of the signs that are certainly start to appear and that are out there. And the interesting thing for me is when I look at this is we kind of got to go back just a little bit. And right when the pandemic hit, you may recall there was talk, report that the pandemic was going to decimate the real estate market. It was going to be worse than anything we possibly saw in 2007, 2008. Well, how did those predictions work out? Right? Nothing like that happened in any way, shape, or form. The housing market took off. The pandemic redefined people's need for housing. People really became, I don't want to say isolated or sheltered, but the need to have a secure space of their own grew. And not only that, with people working from home, it knocked a lot of the barriers down on how close to an office you needed to live, which caused migration patterns to change, people living out of state and still keeping their same jobs. But now, what exactly has changed now? The idea is this chatter's come about that I think there's three things. One is home prices have continued to go up without a doubt. Okay. Two, you've got mortgage rates that have jumped substantially in the past month, right? So that's bringing affordability into play. And three, there's more talk, there's more reports about foreclosure filings being up. So again, what does all this mean and how does it impact you if you're planning on buying or selling? So first off, a crash would be like what we saw before. The market just takes a nosedive and something needs to trigger that. When the market crashed in 2007, 2008, there were definite signs beforehand that it was going to happen. There was a lot of things that just didn't make sense. People were using their homes as ATM machines, constantly refinancing, pulling money out, buying fur coats, jewelry, boats, sea-doos, additional cars. It was crazy, right? Right now, homeowners in the United States are sitting on more equity than they ever have due to the rising home prices. And yes, mortgage rates are up. Yes, homes are less affordable than they were. Yes, inflation is going up. But does that automatically mean that things are going to crash? My take on it is that we're starting to see a shift. We're starting to see it cool down. We're starting to see it slow a little bit. And I think that's a good thing for everybody involved. It's like, imagine this, you're driving down the highway and you're doing 90 and you take your foot off the gas and you start coasting. You feel as though you're slowing down, but you're still doing 80, right? I mean, that's a little bit like what the housing market has been doing. And this is really going to depend on where you are in the country. It's not going to be the same in every single city. So also, let's talk just for a second on those foreclosure filings. Yes, are foreclosure filings up? Yep, they are. They're up over last year. Well, guess what? There was a moratorium last year. There couldn't be any foreclosures because of the moratorium. That's now expired. But do you know, even though that foreclosure filings are up, do you know that they're still running 40% lower than they were prior to the pandemic? So historically, the amount of foreclosures in the market are very, very low, and they're actually falling. They're not increasing right now. Historically, they're falling, just like the number of people still in forbearance is falling. Okay, so we're seeing that come down. That tsunami or wave of foreclosures that people were talking about, there's no sign of it. It's not there, right? Unless something happens that we're not seeing in the numbers anywhere. And I'm going to link directly below to a few of the reports that I've been looking at so that you can see the data firsthand for yourself. But what we are seeing is we are seeing the market start to shift. Okay, what does that mean? It means that things are starting to slow down and return to normal. Okay. And as I mentioned, that's a good thing. So, from a buyer's perspective, what does it mean to a buyer? It means that you're not going to have to make a decision on that house within an hour or start submitting offers sight unseen. It means that there's not going to be lines of people down the driveway in order to get into that house. It means that there are not going to be 30 offers that you're competing against within 24 hours. That's what it means. Now, again, it's still here in North Texas, the market's still crazy. Southern California, it's showing signs of slowing a little bit more. Okay. It means that the days on market are going to increase, right? That's what a shift is. It just means it's settling down, and it needs to. Yes, mortgage rates are up, but historically, they're still really low. The pace or amount of increases has already been built in. They're not forecasting it to jump substantially as we go forward for the rest of this year. It's still going up, but not the same. I can also tell you that all of the leading experts are still forecasting price increases for the next 12 months. All of them. They've actually revised their estimates up slightly. So, stay tuned. If you like this, click the little thumbs up button, hit the bell, right? And subscribe to my channel here, because in the middle of the month, I'm going to be putting out my monthly market update where we take a deeper dive into all of this information, and I'll share the graphics. I'll share the data so that you can see what exactly I'm seeing to make that best decision for you. Now, for sellers out there, if you're thinking of selling, understand that you're not just going to be able to price your home here and have people banging down your door and just bringing, truckfuls of money at you. Not everywhere. That's going to start to change, right? Buyers are still looking for value. The best of the best homes will continue to sell. They will probably still continue to get multiple offers, but you may get 3, 4, 5, not 15, 20, 25. Also, don't be surprised if you don't get an offer the first week. Your home may be on the market 7, 14, 21 days before that offer comes in. All right, so just keep that in mind. We're starting to see in some markets the number of price reductions going up. That's just an indication that sellers that thought they could get this for their house are suddenly finding that they can't, and they're having to bring that price down in order to bring the buyers in. But again, the fundamentals of the market are still extremely strong. Yes, the winds of change are blowing. We've been talking about that for quite a long time now, and it is a good thing for all involved. So again, I just wanted to take a few minutes today and kind of explain what the difference is between a shift and a crash. And just because we're slowing down doesn't mean that we're in for a big crash. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with that. I know there's a lot of people that think we're actually going to fall off the edge of a cliff. I've been hearing that for 2 years. We'll have to wait and see. No one knows for sure. But again, I bring you all of the latest information and all of the data as soon as I get it, so that you can make the best decision for you and your family, as that's the most important thing. Now, if you've got additional questions or there's anything that you want to know, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, in the description directly below, I've got a link to a market report. The market report is for Frisco, Texas, but if you go to that market report, you can search any zip code and city in the entire country. It is the absolute best way to stay up to date on what's happening in your local market. It tracks over 100 million properties in the United States, and it's updated every single week. Great information, helps you see the trends long before they actually appear in the major media outlets. All right, so I hope that helps. Again, any questions, give us a call, 469-296-5230, or send us an email, contact@s2realestateteam.com.